Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be making these cute little journal cards. They kind of look like Polaroid pictures, right? Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shouldn't have sang, sorry. So these are made from scraps. This background is made from scrap strips and then just some decor. The Polaroid picture, the white background, was just cut from a 12 by 12 white cardstock. I cut them down to 4 inches by 3.5, so that worked out well because you figure the 12 inches you get 3 strips of the 4. The 3.5 inches you do waste a little bit because you are at what is that, 10.5? So yeah, 10.5. So you do have a little strip left over, but you can always use that for something else. And let me show you the background. I've made the background already. So here is the background. I just printed it on a digital that I had the backing of. It was white on the other side, and I just covered it up with strips of tiny little scrapbook papers. So I have this box of strips. Now a lot of them I ended up taking maybe a bigger strip. Oh, that's not even a strip. That's a triangle. Taking a bigger strip, like maybe this wide, and cutting it in half to make it a little bit skinnier because I wanted skinnier strips on this. So glue them all down, and then I cut a piece off that was 3 inches wide, which was 1 inch smaller than the 4-inch wide, so it was 3 inches. And since this is 3.5, I cut it down 2.5 inches. So let me cut the next one. So I got 3 inches wide, and then we got 2.5 inches going the other direction. Now we got 2.5 there, and we'll cut another one in. I'm probably gonna have some weird leftover, but that's okay. You know, we can always use that as a scrap for something, put it in my little bin next door. All right, so again, we would just go ahead and take, and I'm not gonna cut it right now because I'm gonna keep this whole for a minute. So I would take it and cut it at 3 and have a nice long strip and go ahead and cut those. Now this I can always use and make, you know, bigger journal cards or pockets or something. But I did cut, like I said, I did cut my 12 by 12 into a whole bunch of pieces. I did round the corner with the tiniest of my rounders, the 4mm, just to soften the edge a little bit. And I'm going to take that, and I'm also going to use the same 4mm to soften the edge of this. Now, I forgot to mention that after I did do the strips, I did put some washi tape on these. And basically, I did the washi tape for a couple of reasons, just to add some more fun to them. Lots of little pieces here. A little black washi tape here. Here's some washi tape. This is washi tape. I'll put some here. Basically, I did that when there was maybe a bigger area that I just wanted to get a little bit more division of lines in there. So I did add just washi tape, hit or miss. Very random colors, very random stuff. But I don't know, sometimes I feel when you have a masterboard with a lot of random colors, it seems to create a great background for things. Mainly because you can use really anything on top of it when all is said and done. So you got the 4 by 3.5, you got the 3 by 2.5, and all I did was glue it down near the top, centering it. I'm going to use my arc glitter glue. Near the top, centering it, just to make it look like the, you know, Polaroid picture used to. Because if you grew up with Polaroid pictures, you know the bottom had that white part. Our folks would write the event down on there, make some sort of comment on there, again, you know, on the bottom. The other thing I did was I did take and use a micron pen to draw around it, just to give it a bit of a shadow. But the other thing I thought I could do was use some of my alcohol ink markers to outline these. And I also pulled in some pre-cut ephemera. So it might be kind of fun to see what I want to put on here. I think I want to put that on there. I don't want to put that. I think I'm going to put the purple flower. So when I have that, I can find a fun little purple. Oops, big side. I need the tiny side. I should read the thing. Find that and go ahead and put it around here. Now I try not to stop when I outline stuff. I try not to stop at a corner because it does add a bit of a extra bleed on there, but there we go. It just has a little bit of a boundary to it. Could ink the outside. I decided not to necessarily use the like vintage ink since this is so white. But later on when I go to put it in a journal or something, I might do that. Now, is this the one I wanted to use? I think so. All right, so we're just going to add some fun stuff, and I think a ticket underneath this would be fun. And I think I'll add a green ticket because there's some green back here. And I always like green and purple together. I think it's a fun combination. So we're going to put that on here. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to make this look like something you took a picture of. And I think a little tidbit would be fun there. So it really doesn't take a lot to add something to it. I think I'm going to do red. There's some red down here and red up there. I think that would be fun. I am going to throw a little ink on this though because it is. All right, so put the butterfly up there. I'll put that there. Beautiful. Yeah, so simple to do and so quick and easy to do, right? I mean, probably the longest thing was doing the masterboard. Now I'm going to keep the ephemera inside of my little photo and not bring it on the outside, but I could definitely do that. Oops, need to dial it up. All right, get that butterfly tucked in, and there we go. Cute, simple, right? And since I didn't think about that, this one didn't do it, did it? So if you don't want to bleed through, you might want to just do the black marker, or don't do anything. You don't have to. It was just an option to kind of highlight it. But good to know that that leaks through. But that could be okay too. If you make it really dark, you'd have a little separate place to write on there. So I'm not totally mad about it. Yeah, I like it. All right, well, let's glue a few more up here and see what we can get. Now, what I could do is I could put the ink on here. I chose pink just because I like pink and green together. And there was obviously some pink on the top here. My washi tape is sticking up just a hair. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on there. And glue back down. I don't think there's really necessary an up or down on this. You gotta be careful if you put any, oh, there is an up and down. It says, I could see here on that washi tape. And I see this pink flower there, which should be perfect for that. And got a little pink sticker here, a pink ticket. I think I actually would put it at the top. balance out the pink strip at the bottom, pink at the top. I might even call that one done. Just a little edging on that. Finish that out. I think it probably goes better that way. And we'll glue it down. Yeah, I'm not mad at doing that pre-inking on the outside of this either. Because obviously that doesn't show through, but yet it does have a bit of a highlight for it. Yeah, I like it. I don't think it needs anything extra on there. Very fun. Very, 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 very fun. Okay, let's cut a couple more strips and glue some together and see what else we can make. Okay, so this needs to be 4 inches wide. No, 3 inches wide. Sorry, this is 4. The center is 3. I was looking at that going, that looks a lot. That looks big. All right, 3-inch strip. And what do I have left, approximately? Just a big over 5, so that actually would make a fun pocket. So we're gonna see how we go. All right, so we've cut the 3 inches wide, and we need 2.5 inches from top to bottom. And I really like that, so I wanted to keep that because, as you recall, on that last one, a bit gets chopped off. So we got 2.5 here. And half there. Again, fun little tidbit, put it in my box. I definitely like this little tidbit. I could totally see, and I might maybe want to, as I'm looking at it going up and down, it might be kind of fun to do it up and down and not have the stripes go necessarily sideways. So if I did it up and down, I would need to cut at 2.5 inches. All right, 2.5 inches. This could be a fun belly band. I might just keep that by itself. This is what? That is just a hair over 2.5. So I just keep that as a belly band. All right, so I cut this 2.5, so I need 3 inches going this way. So this will go that way. Yeah, I like it. All right, so we need another 3-inch piece. And I don't think we made it, did we? Nah, we got 2.5. So unfortunately, that is just going to be a little fun add-on to something. There we go. Now, if you watch my channel at all, you know I love making master boards. So this was definitely a fun project to do. The washi tape is hanging off ever so slightly. There we go. This is definitely a fun project to do. Like I said, it did take quite a bit of time, just because you're not doing huge swaths of things to glue it together. You're doing tiny ones. But like I said, I started out in 8.5 by 11, so it wasn't too bad. Okay, so we got, let's see what we got. We got that one. We got that one. And we got that one. And that one. Got one extra. If I really wanted to, I could cut one more for that and go from there, but we'll just put that to the side. Not like I can't use a white card somewhere. Okay. Let's see what we got. I got that. Oh, I kind of like that one there. I just randomly picked some ephemera out that I thought the colors would match a lot of these. Oh, I like that there. Like that. I guess you are going to be an extra. Okay. Okay, I did like the drawing around of stuff, so we're gonna continue that process. And I'm gonna use this as kind of like a golden, kind of emphasize the gold of the butterfly. Now, I definitely could have used, like you said, just some regular inks for it. But there we go. All right, so we got that one. And this one, I think I'm going to do a green. Really got to look at the stick and see which side to pull. I always seem to pull the wrong side. Well, I hope your day is going well. I have been a little busy. I was helping my husband fix our fence. A recent storm, we had it loosened the fence, so it's wobbling. So he's putting up some bracing for it to not wobble and kind of blow away. So I was the official board holder for that, I think. So luckily it's not too cold out today. I mean, it's cool, but it's nice with the sun being out. Felt pretty good. So I was helping him do that earlier today. Oops. All right, got a little crazy there, so we're just gonna add a little bit extra. Pretend like we meant to do that. What did Bob Ross say? No mistakes, just happy accidents, right? All right, so this one, I think I'm gonna do it dark. I think I'm gonna actually do a black. There is a lot of, okay, well that was really kind of an overkill, but there's a lot of black in this one with the washi tapes, and this is kind of grayish, and the black in these, so I think this is okay. It kind of reminds me of that first one I did, where I did the black around it. Yeah, okay, we got what, one more? All right, purple. I think a purple would be okay. Let's go with a very dark purple. Okay. Lovely. All right. All right, I think I'm going to pull out some of my strips. These are the what do you call it? Make your own strips. I got the freebie on my Ko-fi account. So you want to go ahead and check those out. There's a whole video of them too. I'll try to link it if I can, where I stamped on them afterwards. And this is the result. Let's do those three. Just trying to get a variety of stuff on these. All right, you could work, but you're a little tall. I have to cut you down. So what about you? This was washi tape, kind of like a masterboard, and I stamped tickets on there. So I got that one, and this one could be fun. Can I go in the other direction? Or this one? Actually, I think that one. I like that one better. Let's go with that one. And so I have something with everything. I keep looking at these, but they're done. All right, so let's glue these, and we'll see if we need to add a third item to it. Don't necessarily think we have to add a third to many of these, if any of them, because they are, I think, quite nice on their own. I think I like it that way. So then that is on the background. A little darker around the lighter area. And I am not inking any of these at the moment, just because I don't think it's totally necessary. This, I think I might want a little bit of like boo-boo tape there. We'll save that for a moment, and we'll see if there's other ones that I think that's the same. All right, I'm just gonna take the corners off of these a little bit so it looks a little less new, and I'm gonna ink around this. Get rid of that white edge. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that. Now I know this is covering up a lot of that background, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Still have enough of it peeking out. And put that on an angle, see the number, the flower. Bring it down a little. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to add any boo-boo tape to that. You are upside down. Those words are correct. Those words are correct. Those words are correct. I have a couple of them that, you know, the things did get flip-flopped a little bit, but this had some 3 distinct areas that were up and down. Not that most of it's not getting covered, but I like that. You can see the word cherish down there still. I like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna, again, get rid of the white on the sides of that. Really, that's the only reason I'm doing that. And we'll throw this down. All right, still peeks out a little bit of the stripes. And we'll glue that right there. Coming together. I mean, I think these are great size for journal cards. Be able to tuck them into a little pocket. Since they're only 4 inches, a lot of those, you know, full page pockets are about 5 and a quarter, so these would be perfect size to be able to tuck in. And the fact that they're, I always have that problem when I'm making tags and journal cards a lot. I'll put a bunch of stuff on the bottom, and then you tuck it in and you don't see anything. But these, being, you know, they're on the top, they're nice and easy to tuck into a pocket and yet get a lot of it seen. So kind of a double win there. I like it. Okay, let us do this one. Yeah, so if you haven't seen those make your own labels. It's on my Ko-fi account. Don't forget to check that out. And like I said, if I remember, I'll link the video where I stamp those. Which then truly makes them your own labels. Because the background's there. But a lot of these, you know, these numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, that was me stamping. Background. So completely, you can print the one sheet off, you know, 3 times and stamp it, and you've got 3 different looks. Perfect. I like it. All right, let's use this. And we're going to have you go more off center to the side, and you on that side. I want to shift this over because that flower there, it's a yellow, pink, and green, really kind of goes with that butterfly with yellow, pink, and green. And I don't really think it's totally necessary to put anything there because a lot of stamping already going on. I think I might just leave that. Again, it might be just a little piece of boo-boo tape or something. We'll call that one done. All right, I need my pin to go back in there because I think this is the last thing that I'm going to need at the moment. Those two can go with stick glue. Yeah, this is when that's up, but this one's upside down. That was on a strip, so I can always do that and fix it. But I think I like it more on the bottom. But you know, I think I am gonna change my mind on that because I do have those numbers there. But I'm going to end up covering it, aren't I? I think I want a purple ticket. Purple here, purple there, yellow floral. Nah, I don't think so. I was thinking it just needed something behind it to ground it a little bit. And I wonder, just need a little label. Let's try that. Like, why is the last one being so difficult, right? Yeah, that's a little better. Just needed something to rest on its laurels. He seemed to be floating in space. Okay, put you away, and all right, so there's a couple things that I wanted to put some tape on. And a little bit there. All right, I've got this skinny little tape. Let's see what we can, I think I'll cut this in half. I just want, whoops, I want a little piece. the tinier it is, the harder it is to get off. Yeah, just like the flowers glued down. And I think I'm just gonna put a little piece up there. Okay, once again, we're gonna cut it back, and I think I want a little piece on this. And I'm gonna put some across the bottom of that. It's little, it's just a little added. You can barely tell it's there, but yeah, I don't mind it. Well, I got quite busy there, didn't I? That's who we did. I love them. How fun. Florals, butterflies. I mean, you could really put anything on there. I was originally thinking of taking the little people, the Tim Holtz little people, because of a Polaroid picture. But then I thought their backgrounds were going to be a little too bright for them to be on there. But of course, if I did, you know, strip like this that had more neutral colors or something, it could be fun to put little Tim Holtz person on those. Or, I mean, you can do really anything for these mushrooms, birds, just tiny enough just to add a little focal point. I love them. So, lesson learned. If you don't want it to show in the back, don't use alcohol markers because it will show through the back. You can use microns directly onto there. They didn't seem to run on, but I do like the little borders that I put on there before. It's definitely a neater look than doing it that way. Not that I don't mind it that way, but it just adds a little bit of finishing touch to it. Yeah, and I did, like I said, I had one extra from my 12 by 12 sheet of paper, but yeah, I'm not mad at it not being done. I got 8 of them done. I like it. Okay, well, that is going to be it for this Bust a Scrap. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video if you like the project, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see other Bust a Scrap videos or other things I'm working on. Start with a master board of just tiny little strips. Add a bit of washi tape. Maybe add some glue next time to the washi tape. And cut them out. I love it. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that has stopped by. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.